Under the shadow of global financial meltdown of 2008, an anonymous person or group of people under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto came up with something which at the time was presented as the solution of double spending, a white paper on the design for a digital cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. Bitcoin transactions are digital, directly between one party to another, completely anonymous, transparent, and hack-proof. Bitcoins are not printed, they're discovered through a process called mining. Computers around the world compete with each other to mine Bitcoins. To send or receive Bitcoins, users must first have a Bitcoin wallet, which can be downloaded for free. All users are part of the Bitcoin network, where all accounts are maintained on a vast public ledger, also called the blockchain, and each user has a copy of it. Each transaction is digitally signed for security. Everyone on the network knows about a transaction, and the history of a transaction can be traced back to the point where the Bitcoins were produced. To maintain privacy, instead of names, randomly generated Bitcoin addresses are used. The Bitcoin wallet stores all Bitcoin addresses linked to one person. If A wants to send a Bitcoin to B, 4 things are needed. 1. The record of the Bitcoin address used by A while receiving her Bitcoin from whoever. 2. The amount that A wants to send. 3. Bitcoin address of B that A will need to send the cryptocurrency. 4. A private key for A. Once a transaction occurs, miners have to approve the transaction and put them into blocks for solving it. This roughly takes about 10 minutes. Bitcoin miners compete with each other to solve a complex mathematical problem. Once the solution, which is called proof of work, is reached, the blockchain is updated and all users are notified about it. The miner is compensated with newly created Bitcoins as incentive for the bookkeeping. The Bitcoin developers have limited the mining of the currency to a fixed amount of 21 million. Earlier, mining for Bitcoins could have been done with personal computers, but now, because of increasing complexity in the network, people use dedicated machines like these to keep the algorithm running. These mining computers require a vast amount of energy to run. As the Bitcoin price increases, more miners enter the market, driving up the energy consumption further. Look at these pizzas. They are the world's first $1 million buys. On May 22, 2010, now known as Bitcoin Pizza Day, a man bought 2 pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoins. At the time, the cost of pizzas was $20. Today, owing to the Bitcoin valuation, these pizzas cost upwards of $100 million. Apart from reflecting the meteoric rise in Bitcoin value, this transaction is also hailed as the first ever Bitcoin purchase. This, however, also points to one of the key problems Bitcoin critics say the cryptocurrency is facing right now, that of volatility. Critics caution that the volatility gives rise to concerns that the Bitcoin bubble could be set to burst.
I mean, reality is that nobody can actually forecast this thing. It could be that there is a bubble. The reality is that it's hard to say because we don't really know what kind of fundamental value Bitcoin actually has.
Here's a look at what the fiscal gods have to say about Bitcoin. India's central bank issued a strong warning against Bitcoin and the risks of investing in cryptocurrencies in initial coin offerings in 2015 and repeated the warning in 2017. The Deputy Governor of the People's Bank of China said, "One day you'll see Bitcoin's dead body float away in front of you." While Federal Bank of USA, though says it is premature to consider its very own digital currency, but it is something we're starting to think about. Indian Ministry of Finance cautioned against virtual currencies, comparing them to Ponzi schemes. But Bitcoin enthusiasts believe that after the internet, the next big idea that will revolutionize the system is the concept of peer-to-peer digital currencies.
These temporary fluctuations are meaningless, created by speculators, people who do not understand the fundamental technology of the blockchain. Those who do know that in the long term, these fluctuations will make no difference. The more people who use Bitcoin, the more valuable it will become.
However, critics say that it is not a currency system and is more of an asset, used at best to hold value.
I see as the legal risk as one of the biggest risks of Bitcoin. If regulators suddenly step in and decides that Bitcoin is outlawed, then it's basically almost the end, right? The legal aspect of Bitcoin, it's a very relevant one.
For now, among others, the biggest criticism this cryptocurrency faces is also what makes it so lucrative, that it escapes any kind of regulation.
Given the rapid increase in the price, there is a distinct danger now that the average consumer is going to get very interested in participating in this. And the problem with that is that this is a highly unregulated industry.
Whether it is similar to the dot-com bubble or to the communication revolution, only time will tell.